One Piece Chapter 1108 is just around the corner and, thankfully, there is no break this week. Fans are eagerly waiting for this week's chapter to continue the events of the climax of the Egghead Island arc, and there is quite a lot of stuff to be tackled. Oda already delivered an incredible chapter last week, and from here onwards, whatever comes is likely going to be even greater and more exciting. Fans are hoping to see more of the exciting fights in One Piece Chapter 1108, along with great development concerning the Egghead incident. An update on Zoro vs. Luchi. One Piece Chapter 1108 could potentially give fans a glimpse of the fight between Luchi and Zoro. This fight has been nothing short of surprising for the fans, given that it has continued for quite a long time already, and despite all that, Zoro has not been able to get rid of Luchi. In fact, in the previous chapter, Zoro was bothered by how stubborn Luchi was proving to be, and the fact that he was not giving him even an inch in combat just went to show how difficult he is to deal with. One Piece Chapter 1108 could potentially expand upon this, and give fans more glimpses of their incredible fight. In the previous chapter, Zoro was seen using just 2 swords, and this will likely soon turn into 3, since he will have to go all out if he wishes to defeat Luchi. At the same time, Luchi was not seen going all out either, and fans will most definitely see both of them utilizing their best abilities. Of course, while that might happen, this fight is unlikely to end in the upcoming chapter. It doesn't seem as if Oda is wrapping up his fights on Egghead Island, and as a result, this clash is not going to end either. All that fans can expect from Zoro vs. Luchi in One Piece Chapter 1108 is an update that progresses this fight further. Saturn returns to combat. One Piece Chapter 1108 will most definitely see Saturn return to combat, and this is one thing that fans can be sure of. In the previous chapter, Luffy hit Saturn with a powerful Dawn Gatling and sent him flying to the edge of the island. There, Saturn was seen crushed under rubble, only to get up perfectly fine, thanks to his incredible regenerative powers. Both Van Augur and Devons spoke to him, and the latter even made physical contact with him, using this opportunity to copy his powers and likely keep them for future use. Saturn failed in an attempt to kill them, however. Right now, his biggest responsibility is to return to combat and finish off the enemies of the world government. As such, One Piece Chapter 1108 will most definitely see Saturn returning to combat and fighting against Luffy and Sanji. And given that it was Luffy who blew him away in the previous chapter, Saturn will most definitely try to kill him once again in the upcoming chapter. This time, fans can only hope that Saturn shows a better display of his abilities. Although he's very strong, so far, he has been largely underwhelming on Egghead, and it is high time that he pulls himself together and fights back against Luffy properly. Sanji vs. Kizaru continues. Perhaps the most interesting fight that fans are currently invested in One Piece is the battle between Sanji and Kizaru. In the previous chapter, these two characters officially started their fight, moments after Kizaru tried to assassinate Vegapunk and Bonnie. He shot a powerful beam of light at them in an attempt to pierce and kill them, only to be met with Sanji's powerful kick. Sanji didn't just deflect or block this beam. In fact, he kicked it so hard that it burst and scattered all over the place, which is an incredible feat that shocked even Kizaru himself. Now, this battle is most likely to continue, especially since Sanji has entered his Germa transformation. Sanji is at the peak of his abilities at the moment, and Kizaru is perfect for him to take on in combat. Of course, fans must remember that Sanji is not as strong as Kizaru. However, this could prove to be a battle for him where he can improve his skill and take it to the very next level. One Piece Chapter 1108 could potentially give fans a glimpse of this amazing fight and see it progress. Sanji might even end up using Ifrit Gem against him and land some powerful blows on the Marine Admiral. At the same time, Sanji's very speed might be tested in this battle, given that Kizaru is likely the fastest man in One Piece, with Sanji boasting incredible speed on his own as well. This is a battle of speed and strength, which Sanji will be looking to win against the Marine Admiral. Readers are incredibly excited, and one can only hope that Oda continues this battle instead of cutting away from it in the upcoming chapter of the story, as that is what fans want to see most of all. Luffy unleashes Gear 5. One Piece Chapter 1108 could also showcase Luffy's Gear 5 in full swing. This is an ability that fans know will be incredibly important from here onwards in the Egghead Island arc. In the previous chapter, however, the latter is expected to return to battle very soon. Once once he does, Luffy will have the opportunity to beat him once again. This is especially true because Vegapunk is lying behind Luffy and Sanji, and these two will have to protect him, no matter what. Saturn has already attacked Vegapunk once, and he will most definitely try to do it again. As such, Luffy will have to do his best to take down Saturn before he becomes an even bigger threat to Vegapunk. As such, Luffy will have to unleash the full power of Gear 5. At the same time, fans could potentially see new abilities from Luffy in One Piece Chapter 1108, which is nothing short of exciting. Most importantly, the battle between Luffy and Saturn is expected to hit a whole new height. This is simply down to the fact that Luffy and Saturn are incredibly powerful. However, neither seems to be going all out at the moment. Fans fully expect Saturn to showcase what he's truly capable of in battle in One Piece Chapter 1108. And if that were to happen, then Luffy will have to respond by showcasing the best he has up his sleeve. Saturn is an incredible fighter, and this is evident from his standing within the world government. Oda simply needs to illustrate his skills better, and once that happens, fans will see the true fear that this mighty warrior of the world government can put in the heart of anyone. And in other news, One Piece, how Blackbeard can realize his dream for Hachinosu. In the recently released Chapter 1107 of Eiichiro Oda's One Piece, the situation on Egghead Island took another dramatic turn with the simultaneous arrival of the giant warrior pirates as well as two of the Blackbeard pirates' captains. The two members of Marshall D. Teach's crew who made their presence known on the island were none other than Van Augur and Katarina Devon, and their appearance on Egghead could be tied to Blackbeard's plan for his base on Hachinosu. Desperately seeking to legitimize his rule over Hachinosu, Blackbeard's deployment of Katarina Devon and Van Augur was also connected to St. J. Garcia Saturn's presence on the island. As one of the five elders, the world government's highest authority, Saturn has the power to influence many important decisions about the status quo on the seas in One Piece, and he is also one of the few who can override the pacifista's command hierarchy. As such, Devon's devil fruit could potentially be an avenue for Blackbeard to get what he wants. And here's how this could transpire. What is Blackbeard's plan for Hachinosu, also known as Pirate Island? Hachinosu was known to be a haven for pirates of all kinds in the New World prior to Blackbeard's takeover. Once known as the site where the legendary Rocks pirates were formed, Hachinosu was also the stage for the infamous Rocky Port incident, which was critical for Blackbeard's occupation of the island, Kobe being regarded as a hero of the Marines, as well as Trafalgar Law being made a warlord of the sea during the time skip. After claiming the island as his own, Blackbeard has been striving to have his dominion over Hachinosu recognized by the world government. Such scenarios are not entirely unheard of, as seen in how the kingdom of Dressrosa was forcibly taken over by Don Quixote da Flamingo, who was a former celestial dragon turned pirate, and was granted the status of a warlord of the sea. Blackbeard's aim is a bit more ambitious, considering that Hachinosu was never allied with the world government, but his efforts have still been quite consistent. For starters, he took Kobe hostage on Amazon Lily, and tried to use him as a bargaining chip against the world government. Now that Monkey D. Garp has been captured after attacking the island to save Kobe, he has an even stronger hand to play in this negotiation. Unfortunately, he may need even more leverage to realize his dream. Enter Katarina Devon's Devil Fruit. One potential avenue for Blackbeard to gain additional bargaining power stems from the Devil Fruit of Katarina Devon, one of his 10 Titanic captains. Possessing the Inu Inu no Mi model, Kyubi no Kitsune, Devon can alter her appearance to that of anyone she desires, although some of the finer details behind how this ability works have yet to be revealed in full. If it is anything like Bon Clay's Main no Mi, the user will need to make physical contact with their target to trigger the transformation. Hence, Devon's arrival at Egghead and her subsequent act of touching St. J. Garcia Saturn indicates that the Blackbeard pirates intend to use his status and authority to manipulate the world government into accepting their demands, impersonating one of the five elders. On the chance that Saturn is defeated on Egghead, the prospect of Devon impersonating him to deceive the world government is not too hard to imagine. although she will have to trick even the 5 elders into believing the ruse if the plan is to succeed. Additionally, since her devil fruit also permits her to replicate her target's clothing and perhaps even their voice, which opens up a very interesting possibility regarding the world government's cyborg army in the form of the Pacifista. Since Saturn is second only to Jewelry Bonnie in the Pacifista's command hierarchy, Devon could easily turn the Pacifista against the Marines if she desires, which would allow the Blackbeard pirates to hold them hostage, as only Bonnie could override commands issued by her while impersonating Saturn. This is even more leverage for the Blackbeard pirates to use, and it will be necessary to achieve their lofty aims. The benefits of being acknowledged by the world government. If Blackbeard were to get his way and have his rule legitimized, this could change quite a lot in the power structure of the 4 emperors in the New World. Such a course of events could ultimately give him backing and protection from the Marines, especially if he manages to take control of the Pacifista through Katarina Devon's impersonation of Saturn. The notion of one of the 4 emperors aligning themselves with the world government is unheard of, since Big Mom, Kaido, and Shanks, and their respective territories of Tado Land, Wano Country, and Elbaf, had no relation with the government at all. In essence, this would generate a massive power imbalance in the order of the New World, especially if Hachinosu is granted a seat at the Reverie. An unlikely proposition, but important to consider nevertheless. Altogether, this scenario would strengthen Blackbeard's position to a great extent, while simultaneously being extremely unfavorable for anyone attempting to reach Laugh Tale and claim the One Piece. That's a wrap for this video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We'll be back with more amazing videos very soon.